Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pav Bamber here for PSB Sports, and on the line with me, I've got a British heavyweight, Mr. Dave Allen. Dave, how are you, my friend? And thank you so much for coming on the channel once again, Dave.
Yeah, very good, thank you, mate. It's good to be on.
Sounds good, buddy. Sounds good. So, Dave, obviously, first of all, I've got to say, well done, congratulations. Huge fight announced recently by Eddie Hearn. Last time I interviewed you, you said to me that you wanted the DILLIAN Whyte fight. You said that it was all agreed prior to the British Boxing Board of Control putting it back, which is obviously unfortunate on your behalf. They know you obviously put on the Leeds bill. But however, Dave, everything now seems to be sorted, so congratulations. I'm sure you must be very excited for it.
Yeah, it's a big fight. It's a fight I've been looking for a while now. So the WBC International Title. I believe that gives you a world ranking.
Yeah.
Against a fighter, DILLIAN Whyte, and in a lot of people's opinion, is a world-class fighter. So, it's a big fight for myself, and it's that big a fight, I have agreed to take it on 3 weeks' notice, but, with the risk of doing that, the reward is huge. So, it's one that I did have to think about for a few days, and then, eventually I decided it was worth the chance.
Absolutely, Dave. And of course, something I have to ask you. Obviously, you mentioned there with the 3 weeks notice, so on and so forth. Obviously, this was a huge fight in general in the making, Dave. And I think this fight has been spoken about, for a while now. So, and I think I've seen some of your tweets and stuff like that saying that if you guys fought it maybe on the undercard of Brook Golovkin, so on and so forth, that you would obviously have more time to promote it and sell it. So, Dave, obviously on your behalf, what was the reasoning for this fight being taken with 3 weeks notice from yourself?
Basically, I was told by head of matchroom Eddie Hearn and DILLIAN Whyte that this was the last opportunity that this fight could be made. Like I say, 3 weeks notice is not ideal, but I really wanted the Whyte fight. It's a fight that I wanted. It's a fight that a lot of the fans wanted, and it's a shame that they wouldn't give me that extra time. But that fills me with confidence. It's like DILLIAN doesn't want to take the fight, and he doesn't want to give me 10 weeks to prepare. But like I say, I'm not in the greatest of condition, but I'm always physically fit.
Sure.
Got a couple of weeks hard training coming up, and there'll be no excuses on the night. If I'm not victorious, there'll be no excuses from me saying I took it on 3 weeks' notice. I'm mentally in an excellent place. I've never felt as confident going into a fight before. This is the first time in my life, in any walk of life, in any previous sports that I played as a kid. I played a lot of sports at high levels.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've ever gone into anything as an underdog. It's refreshing, and it's it is a nice change. There's no pressure whatsoever. I'll get to go in there. And I think it'll seem to the best of my ability under this condition.
It sounds good, Dave. And of course, something you mentioned there earlier is the fact that this is obviously did you say for the WBC International Title, wasn't it?
Yeah. What Anthony Joshua just vacated, I believe, when he won the IBF.
Yeah, exactly. So, obviously fighting for that, Dave, in itself, obviously there's the rivalry you have with Dylan and so on and so forth. But, on a more personal note, I'm sure you're thinking of your future ranking and that WBC International Title, of course, surely.
Yeah, this is a massive springboard. This is a springboard onto world level. And, there's no other fight out there right now that can do that for me. I could stick around and fight Sam Sexton and Dominic Akinlade and the likes at the English title level. Winning sees me springboard onto the world stage, and like I say, 3 weeks or not, that's something that you just can't turn down. You don't know when that's going to come around again. So, it's a hard fight. I know it's going to be a difficult night, but it's risk reward, like I said before. But I'm very confident of beating DILLIAN Whyte. I don't think he is world level. A lot of people think he is. His rankings say that he is. Matchroom say that he is, but I genuinely don't believe that he is. So I'm not world level either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I am right now, but
sure.
I think I've more than got the beating of DILLIAN Whyte.
And obviously, Dave, speaking of the fight itself, something I've got to ask you about in terms of your rivalry, obviously I think Dylan's had a lot to say as well in general. You've had your fair bit to say about each other. In terms of the rivalry, Dave, when it comes to press conference and weigh-in, are you going to mentally, how are you going to prepare for this in the sense that, are you going to try and keep your head out of any potential mind games, out of the verbals, and just focus on the fight. Physically, you're going to be in top shape, but mentally, Dave, how are you going to approach this fight in particular with the rivalry you have?
Yeah, like I said, with the 3 weeks notice, obviously physically I'm not going to be in the best shape, but mentally, there's nothing DILLIAN can do that's going to rattle me. Like mentally, I'm the strongest fighter out there. Like he can't touch me mentally. Do whatever DILLIAN, whatever games he wants to play. He can't outbanter me. We all know that. We've seen it online. He can't do that. He can try his bully boy tactics, but it just won't work. It won't wash. I need DILLIAN to be angry. I need him to come into the ring angry. The way I'm going to beat him is, I said it earlier, I'm going to take him into deep water and I'm going to drown him. I don't believe he can fight 12 rounds at a high pace. So, I want him to come in at me all guns blazing. I don't want him to box me. If he boxes me, I'm not going to, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the greatest boxer in the world because, everyone's seen the guy fight. I can't box. I can't throw a straight left jab. I just need someone to come and fight. I'm very physically strong and I'm very fit. So the plan is to take DILLIAN into the later rounds, by applying educated pressure. I don't want to go in there. In the Gavin fight, I was stood up tall, no jab. I do that with DILLIAN Whyte. I think I've got a good chin and I'm very tough. I don't think he's going to stop me early on. I don't think anyone in the world can. But I've been for a long night and it won't be a successful night. I will not. If I go into the fight and perform like I did in the Gavin fight, I'll get beat. Absolutely. I need to improve tenfold on that. And but I think I will rise to the occasion. And if I can take him to the ring, what I put into the gym, I've got the beating of DILLIAN Whyte. But although I've seen him spar as well, and I think if he turns up on the night and does what he can in the gym, and I still do what I did in the Gavin fight, I'm in for a hard night as well. I'll get beat. So you got to be honest about things, and that's the way you're going to improve and get the best out of yourself.
Fair enough, Dave. And obviously, something I admire about you as a fighter, and I think, sometimes I think more fighters should have more self-belief in themselves. And, you've obviously got confidence and self-belief in abundance. Even when I interviewed you before you were meant to fight Richard Towers, you even said to me there and then that you would happily tell me the game plan right there and then on the phone for the Towers fight. And obviously, you've basically said how you want to fight DILLIAN and how you, in an ideal world, you would like the fight to go. So I think obviously from your perspective, Dave, it shows how positively ready you are mentally and how raring you are to go.
Yeah. It's just like my card's on the table. Everyone knows what to get on me. Every time I spar, every time I fight, I just come to fight. It's a very physical thing. I try the Gavin fight. I couldn't let my shots go. I just come and let my shots go. And I try and out grit and out. I'm physically. Like people say 3 weeks notice, that's fair enough. I'm a physically fit man,
Yeah.
Obviously, if I was a bit longer to prepare, I could probably. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do if I'd have had the proper notice, but
sure.
Maybe just in a slightly slower gear. That's all, in a slightly lower gear. But
sure.
The game plan's always the same. The game plan never changes. I'm just going to wear DILLIAN there. Will just wear him down. I'm going to tell him that at the press conference. I'm going to wear you down.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell him he won't stand and fight me. He won't. I believe he's going to try and box because he knows he can't. He can't outfight me. So he has to do that. He can say I'm an average fighter. He can say what he wants, but people in boxing talk. He will know what I'm about, and I believe he will try and outbox me, and we'll see if he can do that. Because I honestly don't believe that he can. I'm very confident. I wouldn't have took it if I wasn't confident. People say it's for a payday. No, it's not.
Sure.
I'm very confident.
Absolutely, Dave. And Dave, obviously. DILLIAN fought around a few weeks ago, didn't he, on the Joshua undercard? Obviously, bearing in mind that this fight was potentially in the pipeline for yourself, I assume you've watched his fight against Bakurian, and obviously now you're studying him, you're probably watching his previous fights. What sort of drawbacks or what things, Dave, did you take from his fight with Bakurian that you could take home with you and say, okay, I've seen that, I can work on that, or okay, maybe I saw X, Y, and Z in that fight. What sort of things did you see in that fight with Bakurian that you could take home with you and say, okay, I can exploit this and that?
I think what I've seen is, he's fought Bakurian, he's fought Minto. Them two fights right there, two cruiserweights. And, he had his mouth wide open after 3 or 4 rounds against Bakurian. He looked like he was gassing. He was on the front foot, he had everything his own way. He was getting 3 or 4 stone in weight. What's he going to do when he gets a man nearly his own size? He was going to push him back, walk through what he's got, and then, for the first 2 or 3 rounds, I'm not expecting any success whatsoever for 2 or 3 rounds. I'm expecting to be 3 rounds down. But what's he going to do when 3 rounds is gone? He's starting to gas a little. He sees the punch not having an effect, and I start hitting him back. And that's when the fun will start. I've only had 10 fights. I'm only a young man. I only look about 12 years old. But I'm a very hard man, and that is born through confidence. So I can't wait to get in there.
Yeah, I understand.
I've got such a buzz about this. People can say what they want, but I genuinely believe. I've never been beat, so
yeah, absolutely.
He's got the Joshua experience. I've never been beat as an amateur. I lost one fight. I'm very contentious. I genuinely don't believe over 12 3-minute rounds any man in the world that will be able to keep with me. And maybe not right now. I wouldn't beat anyone in the world, but I beat the likes of DILLIAN Whyte over 12 3-minute rounds, and that's as simple as that.
And Dave, obviously you've mentioned there some of the stuff you've seen from DILLIAN, which you believe that you can pick up on and exploit. So Dave, having said that, if you were to summarize everything in this fight, Dave, in particular, for yourself, what are the key factors that are going to define it all? If you were to pinpoint 3 things, what are going to be the key factors to summarize it?
Well, obviously, DILLIAN punches very hard. He's very physically strong. And he's got a good jab as well.
Yeah.
They're strong points. Obviously, I believe in my chin, I believe in my toughness, but if an 18-stone man who can punch like DILLIAN can start hitting you on the chin and starts hitting you on the head, it's going to take its toll, it's going to wear you out, and eventually it's going to take you out. So I've got to make sure I'm not taking silly shots. I've got to use his strength against him. I've got to get him reaching. I've got to get him missing. But at the same time, I've got to be making him work the whole time. I can't afford to get in there and just box and move like we're currently doing, because that's giving him an easy time. I've got to make him work. He will work every second of every round, and that is a plan. And there's nothing he can do about that. He can say you're giving away the game plan. It doesn't matter, because it's as simple as that. He's going to work for every second of every round. And if he beats me, I will shake the man's hand and I'll say you've earned that, because he will. This isn't going to be a 2 or 3 round blowout job. This is going to be a war of attrition. And 7 or 8 rounds in, we're going to find out what DILLIAN Whyte's all about. I believe he's got all the ability in the world. He's a good puncher. He's very strong.
Sure.
Technically for a big man, he's very good. But what I believe he's missing is that engine to do 12 rounds. And if he does beat me, he'll have to go 12 rounds. And it'll be one hell of a fight. That's for sure.
Dave, I think obviously from a fan's perspective, such as myself, having these sort of domestic British fights is great, especially in the heavyweight division, Dave, to say the least. It's great for the fans to see. Obviously the rivalry you guys have, and on the side, Dave, it's a great card, and to have a fight like this on the card, it's a as you said, a huge opportunity for yourself and for DILLIAN. But obviously, I think the fans here win, don't they? Because it's going to be a cracking fight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good fight. I believe it may turn into an ugly fight somewhere down the line. You've got 2 big heavyweights. I'm going to be setting one hell of a pace. From 4 or 5 rounds onwards.
Sure.
He's going to be a tired man. I'm going to be a tired man. But I'm going to be victorious. I'm not bothered how ugly it is. I'm not bothered what happens. I will wear him down, and I will take him out. And he probably sit and listen and laugh to this. I think he thinks he's a level above me, 2 or 3 levels above me. But maybe so. Maybe for 4 or 5 rounds he is. But this is a championship fight. This is for a WBC title. This is it. So if he can go, then it comes down to this. If he can do 12 3-minute rounds, pace, middleweight pace, he'll win the fight. And I just genuinely don't believe he can do that.
Dave, first of all, I want to say thank you so much once again for your time. I really appreciate it. It's always good to have your voice and your opinions on this channel, especially with this huge fight you have coming up as well. It's great to have you on, Dave. As always, I wish you all the best. And thank you very much for your time once again, my friend. If you could stay on the line for 2 minutes, that would be awesome. Thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Guys, it's been Pat Bamber for PSP Sports with Dave Allen. Thank you very much.